Okay.
This is I'm going to call to order the 2,466 meeting of the Darien Police Commission. Acceptance of the minutes of November 30th, 23.
Motion to accept.
Second. Any changes, comments, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Chief, correspondence is going to be our whole agenda.
All right, in your folder, you have a thank you from a student that was here that we gave a tour to with some photographs. Oh, I'm actually on the back of the photograph. So, Kevin came in for a tour with his mom. It was a nice time. Again, this is the season to be jolly. Residents delivered cookies on 12/9. Thank you note was sent. We did get a nice email from the town council, Wayne Fox, thanking Captain Medema, Officer Flood, and Officer Municipal Animal Patrol Officer Stahl. This is on an ongoing dog bite incident that it's been probably at least a year and a half, I think, and it's still being litigated as to whether the dog has to wear a muzzle whenever it's outside or off the property. So they both had to give testimony, and the attorney just wanted to say thank you, nice job. Still working toward a resolution on that. Pastor Landon Reeser from Christ Community Church downtown delivered Christmas goodies to us on the 15th. Thank you note was sent. As always, Springdale Florist, Mickey and Tom Doyle, they send us a very nice holiday gift basket on both Easter and Christmas time. So they have never, in my time, have failed to not deliver that basket to us. So I appreciate Tom and Mickey sending that to our men and women every Christmas and Easter. A resident delivered a large assortment of chocolate and cookies on 12/15. The resident delivered homemade cookies on the 18th. Holiday gift basket from NextGen, who's our new CAD RMS supplier, came the other day, so we sent them a thank you note. That was put out for everyone to enjoy. A resident delivered a holiday gift basket on the 19th. I believe that's the one that you still saw in the Chief's admin area. We're going to hold on to that one, I think. We'll roll that out between Christmas and New Year's to extend the feeding frenzy. We did get a gift card from Nino's Restaurant on the 19th as well. As the commission knows, town policy requires us to give those gift cards to Human Services. I delivered that to Allie Ramsteck at Human Services yesterday, and she has a specific family in mind that would certainly be able to use that holiday time. So paying it forward once again. Thank you note was sent to that resident as well. So busy on correspondence, and as always, I appreciate the residents taking good care of us and thinking of us, especially around the holidays.
Agreed. Captain, department activity.
Okay, this report runs from the period between November 30th through December 20th. On December 7th, approximately 9 a.m., an Anthony Lane resident interrupted the burglary of her unlocked vehicle parked in her driveway. During the incident, the victim was struck with the suspect vehicle's rear passenger door. The resident did not contact this agency after the incident, but reported later to an officer in the area who was investigating the report of a neighbor's stolen car that was unlocked and had the keys in it. On December 11th, the Wakemore Street resident reported that a large sum of cash and jewelry had gone missing from the residence. On December 13th, the Schofield Farm Road resident reported that Christmas decorations on the property had been vandalized. On December 15th, Christie Hill Road resident reported that a FedEx delivery containing several iPhones never arrived. After contacting FedEx, it was reported that an unknown male on a skateboard signed for the delivery and stole the phones. On December 19th, a 22-year-old Stanford man was arrested by warrant for reckless driving, failure to obey traffic signal, and operating a motor vehicle while using a cell phone. These charges stem from an incident in which the suspect drove past a police car at a very high rate of speed in an attempt to get the officer to pursue him on January 27th of this year. The suspect was known for driving in this manner on numerous occasions in Stanford, Darien, and Norwalk. On December 16th, the 41-year-old Shelton man was arrested for DWI after he was found sleeping in his vehicle while at a traffic light. He was also charged with carrying a firearm while under the influence. We had 4 domestic disturbance incidents, 4 incidents of fraud. We had 2 stolen vehicles that were unlocked with the keys in them, 5 car burglaries, 3 of them which were unlocked, 2 which were forced entry. Invisible purses were stolen off the seats. 39 motor vehicle accidents, 10 having minor injuries, 121 traffic stops conducted by the Patrol Division and the Traffic Division, focusing on areas that residents have complained about and general enforcement. And we had 1,034 calls for service during the same time period.
Motor vehicle incidents, is that an uptick simply because of the holidays, or is that
Which incidents?
the motor vehicle incidents, traffic incidents, or? Is
Yeah,
that generally,
You know, most of our motor vehicle accidents are occurring in parking lots.
okay.
And if the shopping is increased, I think we're in, I was in the Good Wife Shopping Center today and I almost couldn't find a parking spot. So maybe that is one of the reasons why they're up.
Yeah, I just asked because the whole slow down in town campaign, maybe working with Town Hall next year, maybe we do it, push back a little bit as well. I don't know.
I haven't seen a lot of traffic. I feel like the traffic moving through town has been pretty good, but the parking, maybe that's because everybody's in the parking lot. Yikes. Okay, well, a comment on the first one, which is the victim did not report it to the agency, but we definitely can't do anything about it if we don't hear about it. So I urge people to call us, and even if you think it's after the fact, that would be helpful.
And I know if people watch our meetings, they might think it's Groundhog Day, because every meeting, I say the same thing. 5 cars that were unlocked, or 5 car burglaries, 3 which were unlocked. 2 where the cars, the windows are being smashed. That's a completely different crew, right? That 3 unlocked is 3 too many. And the 2 stolen vehicles with the keys in them again. I mean, I'll say it once again. Please lock your car and secure your valuables. If you're at Cherry Lawn Park, or you're at the Weed Beach, or you're at the Town Hall, or you're at Good Wife Shopping Center or Whole Foods, and your purse is on the seat, there's a good possibility that this crew that operates from Florida to Maine, that's what they do every day. They may cross your path at some point, so.
Yeah, they're not breaking the windows of cars without valuables
Without valuables in it, no.
that it can be
They're
seen.
visible to the eye.
Okay. Anything else in department activity? Okay, next. Public comment? We have members of the public?
Yes, I'd like to bring to the attention the letter there, the email that I sent to the commission. I assume you read it, I'll summarize it. I did in additional data post our last meeting that I had here. And my interpretation is that the sign that was put on the dynamic sign in front of the house is a school sign. It was requested as a school sign and granted funding as a school sign. I did not see an analysis for it, okay, for the information that was presented to me. I did not see a survey or an analysis as to why it was put there. It was put about 1,600 feet from the school. Most urban and rural locations is between 250 and 750, so it was over double the recommended locations. You go to the Royal School, it's right there, literally right close to the school. Most school zones, and I know this is in a school zone, is about 1,000 feet. So this is pretty far outside of the school area. There's not a lot of traffic, not a lot of speeding going on at, when the kids are getting dropped off. I live there. I know you guys, that's what you do, but I live there. So I'll tell you, when the kids are being dropped off and getting picked up, not a lot of speeding. In fact, traffic, which is a whole other discussion, it backs up all the way to Middlesex and beyond sometimes. So my questions to the committee is, why was there inflexibility? If it wasn't an issue to the school, I asked it to be put 100 feet south, so it wasn't right in front of my property. That was, the committee here denied that. I don't know why. And then 2, why isn't it put closer to the school according to best practices and guidelines across the United States? And why no survey was done or presented through this process, given that there's a lot of questions on it, and obviously no flexibility on moving. So So I'd love to hear from the commission as to why was it denied in the first place, and now given that, why would you consider moving it now?
Okay. Well, it's not on our agenda, and we will take up your comments and heard your questions. Anyone else from the public? No one else is here. Okay. Hearing no other, let's move on to old business, which is building issues update.
The only update I have is we are looking to replace the sign out front of the building. It's seen better days, it's been there a while. I've started getting some quotes, and we're just working on getting a few quotes before we decide to move forward.
Anything else? Nothing? Nothing under traffic issues. New business, department reorg.
Well, as the commission knows, maybe Commissioner Cunningham will come in. We've had one-on-one discussions, and we've been having administrative discussions on department reorganization for probably as long as I've been here. When Chief Lavella was here, his plan was to take the lieutenants out of patrol, direct patrol supervision, and move them into more administrative type roles. We are enjoined somewhat by the collective bargaining agreement on what we can do and what we can't do. But I think it's incumbent still on the commission and the administration here to best staff the police department to meet the needs, the operational needs of the department. As you know, we've been having some discussions about creating an additional sergeant's position. We're at the point now where that is my recommendation as the chief to the commission to create an additional sergeant's position. Just a little backstory here. In 1983, when I came on, a lieutenant was the first line supervisor, the road supervisor. The sergeant was the dispatcher, right? It was kind of the New York City model where the desk sergeant was the desk sergeant. So you got promoted to a supervisory role, and until you made lieutenant, you worked the desk in communications for the rest of your career. That is an outdated model. So over the intervening 20 years or so, we put sergeants on the road. And we also have lieutenants on the road sometimes. So it's fungible, right? They're both doing the same job, and the commission knows you have documentation from me and previous chiefs on why this is not the best use of mid-management type activity. We have 9 patrol squads. Right now, 7 of them are headed by sergeants, 2 of them are headed by lieutenants. What we're requesting is the midnight lieutenant stays as is, right? Being that there is no other supervisory staff here on midnights, the lieutenant effectively is the quasi-midnight chief of police, right? I'm okay with keeping a lieutenant on midnights at this point. The issue that has arisen based on contractual negotiations is that we have some supervisors who are allowed to pick their shifts by seniority. We now have some sergeants that are not supervised by a lieutenant. That's not ideal to have a captain kind of giving a performance evaluation to a sergeant. By creating a sergeant's position and putting a sergeant at the head of each of our 9 squads, we can then take that lieutenant and have that lieutenant working a more flexible schedule, overseeing all the daytime and all the 3 to 11 sergeants. That's what a lieutenant really at a mid-management position is supposed to be doing. As far as departmental, impact of operations, we're going to be in a better place. Yes, does a sergeant cost more than a patrolman? Creating another sergeant's position? We're talking about, I think, about an $8,000 a year difference, right? And we've asked for additional personnel as well, but I think for right now, my recommendation to the commission, and maybe you put it on the agenda for next time for a vote, and if you want to review other documents, historical documents, to really get the flavor of it, that's kind of what I'm looking for. We're not looking to in any way abdicate the management rights afforded to us as the commission, as the chief of police. The CBA is very clear that the chief can move any employee to any position and any shift for any reason. Doing that by edict is not the way we want to do it, right? It is supposed to be a win-win for the department and for the town and for the employees as much as possible, but the needs of the agency have to come first. So by creating a sergeant's position and moving that lieutenant from heading that squad to overseeing all the sergeants on days and evenings is much more functional use of the lieutenant's position. Can also do other administrative type tasks that, quite frankly, they do already. So I think that's the way to go.
From an efficiency standpoint, I mean, Commissioner Cunningham, I know, is absolutely in favor of this as well. Would you like us to approve it now, or would you want to wait till the next meeting? Would that be helpful to you?
Either way, I mean, we have discussed this through 4 chiefs of police.
Okay.
10 captains, unbelievable amount of lieutenants, and we've never been able to get to the point where we have to do it. And here's the caveat. There is nothing that precludes the police commission from contracting a position at some point if we find that does not work. Typically, we don't contract the position and demote somebody from sergeant back to patrol officer or from lieutenant to sergeant. It's done through attrition at a time when someone retires. And I will go on the record to say that there may be a time when you may want 10 sergeants, but maybe only 4 lieutenants and not 5 like we have now. Our positions that are staffed by lieutenants now that were never staffed by lieutenants. The training position, which was an officer, who also was the youth officer, did both jobs, and then the training officer, was an officer. It was one and the same. What we're required to do, what we're required to report, what we're required to ensure happens is so exponentially higher than it's ever been. And the commission knows the 3 prongs of a successful law enforcement operation, right? Effective hiring, getting the right people on the bus, right? Effective training, which I think we do better than any other department, and certainly within Fairfield County, I think anywhere in the state of Connecticut. But the 3rd prong, which is equally as important as the other 2, is effective supervision. You have to ensure that what is supposed to be getting done is getting done. I think the lieutenants are in the best position to make that happen, overseeing sergeants. And instead of overseeing 3 sergeants, you'll be overseeing 6 or 7 sergeants. That's really what this design is to do. And it gives the lieutenant a little flavor of what you're going to do as you move up here in the department into an administrative type role. I think it's a win-win for everybody. And
it goes into effect, there's no trial period, or if there's no...
No, if the union probably would want some kind of discussion as to, so they know exactly, right? I don't think anybody from the union thinks that this chief is going to try to bait and switch them with anything. Like, I'm going to promise you the moon and I'm going to give you nothing, right? I want to be open and transparent with the process. I don't mind having the discussion with the union. We've had discussions with the union as to, and they're in agreement that this is, sounds like the best way for us to deliver effective departmental operations. So there probably would be the nuts and bolts of how it is. But as far as creating the sergeant's position, I've already had the conversation with the town administrator because there is some financial impact. It's not a major impact, but it is an impact. The unilateral authority to create and retract positions lies wholly with the police commission. But I've had that discussion with her. We have money in our existing fiscal 24 budget because we have not been fully staffed, that we do have some salary cap in our budget for this year, and we would have to make a amendment in our fiscal 25 budget to have 9 sergeants instead of 8.
And your current sergeant exam that hasn't expired yet, right? So
We have a standing list for sergeants and lieutenants that expires in May.
Yep.
So we're ready to go in that respect.
So if the commission so chooses to move forward in the creation of a sergeant's position, you can schedule interviews. I think you would want to interview the candidates again, probably sometime in early January or mid-January or early February.
We're here interviewing, I think, for other positions on the 18th, right? well, we can work out the schedule. I'm competing with, I know Kevin is probably in favor, and I would like to get it going, but I'd also like a unanimous,
Yeah.
I'd like a,
I think that would
important
probably
enough that
be...
it should, the three of
Moving
us
towards
here.
the goal,
so,
obviously, but, yeah.
I'm trying to move the ball forward here.
I think we put it on the next agenda, and hopefully we are, we have a quorum, 2 out of 3, but I'd like to have a unanimous, a
It's
real
not-
vote. It's a big move forward
It is a
for the
big-
department.
it
So,
is a big move, but it's
in
not
case
big.
there are any lingering questions, in case anything comes up in the next 4 weeks, I'd just like to kick it one more meeting down the, we've waited this long?
I've waited 40 years.
I think 3 or 4 weeks will be okay. Excellent. Anything else? Nobody? Crickets? 21st of December. Our next meeting is January 18th. January 18th.
Yeah, I'm good.
For anything that needs to get on the agenda. Anything else?
No, I'm all set.
Or we
Thank you.
adjourn to 2024?
We're doing 4 o'clock on the 18th?
I'm good for
4? Yeah, okay.
That's when it's, I think that's when it's in the books for. All right. Happy New Year, everybody, out there.